Hello and welcome to Gardening at 58 North. In this video I'd like to give you guys an update on my Gloxinia plant here and also my Tree Peony seedlings. So first of all, I'll start off with the Tree Peony seedlings. I did a video before about how to germinate them. I scarified some of them, other ones I just kind of soaked in hot water. I put them in some Tupperware trays and I just let them kind of have a warm, humid environment. What happened is they started to germinate, the roots started to grow, so I put them into the pot in, I think it was about January or December last year. Because basically what you want to do is you want to get these to germinate, and once they start growing the seed, then they have to have a cold treatment, and that kind of simulates what happens in the wild. They basically, autumn comes, they grow the root whilst it's still warm, and then when it gets cold in winter, they just kind of go dormant and then they grow again in spring. But I was very surprised because normally as soon as the warmth comes in spring, most plants, especially like seeds and things that you've had to put through a cold treatment, they normally spring into life almost as soon as there's any kind of warmth. But these Tree Peonies, these were really slow. I actually thought they had died. They didn't actually germinate until about July time, so that's really late. I was well into the summer, but I kept checking them and I could just about see a few roots on the bottom of some of the pots, and that kind of thought to me, okay, they might still be alive. And also the seeds were quite secure, they weren't like wobbly, I could feel the root was attached. I did actually pull one out and see that the root was still healthy, so I left it, I was happy with it. I thought, okay, I'll just see if it comes to anything. As I said, come July, these two sprouted, just one leaf with this one sprouted one leaf, and then kind of late summer it sprouted a second one here. But as you can see, there's no stem or anything, it's basically just a leaf. Once this leaf dies off, there's going to be nothing there. You can see there's not really even a stem. There will be a stem next year because this is a tree peony, so it does grow stems. It's not the herbaceous kind, so there will be a stalk on it at some point. But as I said before, tree peonies and also normal types of peonies, they have very thick swollen tubers as roots. So I think what they're doing is they're trying to build up that root, and so all the energy this year is just going into building up the roots. So I reckon there's probably quite a big tuberous root in there. I'm probably not going to be able to see it, unfortunately, because it's going to be right next to the stem. I'll try taking one out though, just to have a look, and we'll see if there's any sign of any tuberous roots. So I'll have a quick look. Compost is very dry at the moment, so I hope it doesn't all just fall apart. So we can see there's a few roots, and that one is quite swollen. You can see that's quite a thick root there. Can't see any other ones around the side, and I'll just double check with this one quickly as well, but the roots look quite healthy, and that one as well, quite a few healthy roots, but I can't see anything swollen there, and I don't really want to start digging around trying to find it because these two are going into dormancy soon, and I don't really want to disturb them too much because I want these to do well and survive the winter. So these will be losing their leaves very quickly. It's now November, so it's the time of year when they go deciduous. And you can actually see the tips of the leaves are starting to have a tinge of red, so I'm expecting these to lose their leaves soon. It has been a very mild autumn so far, but I reckon now that it's suddenly getting a lot colder, now it's November, these will actually lose their leaves and they'll go through the normal cycle. But as I say, next year hopefully we'll get some stem growth, but I'm still expecting it to be a good 3 or 4 years, maybe 5 years plus, until I get any flowers on these tree peonies. It really is a very slow process. If you wanted to grow tree peonies, you're better to probably go along with cuttings, just buy them in the shop, to be honest. But if you have the time and you just want to give it a go, they are easy enough to germinate from seed. As I say, it's a real patience game. Make sure you scarify the seed so that it breaks the seed coat and the moisture can get into a germination. And then even when it does germinate, as I say, it took me until July until these actually sprouted. So the other plant I'm doing an update on is my Gloxinia here. It's been struggling quite a bit this year. Had quite a lot of aphids. It also had thrips. The thrips are gone as far as I'm aware. I can't really see any at the moment, but there is still aphids. You can see some of the skins that molted off. There shouldn't really be any live aphids. There might be 1 or 2 left, but I've picked off the most, as much as I can. There's always 1 or 2 probably hiding, so I'm sure they'll come back. But that's part of the reason it's not done so well. The other reason is I shouldn't have let it grow so many shoots. So as you can see, it's got plenty of leaves, and the leaves are actually quite healthy. Got loads of stems, and because of that it's grown lots of leaves, but it needs I need to reduce them down, so it's got one really strong thick stem, and if it's just all that energy from the bulbs going to the one stem, it's much more likely to flower. If it's producing lots of stems, that energy from the bulb is going to be reduced and it's just going to be shared throughout 5 stems or so. So that's going to be 5 times less per shoot, the amount of energy that's going to it, and therefore it's going to be more inclined just to grow leaves and not flower. There has been a few flowers here, but I say these two really got decimated by aphids. But I've got some more shoots down here with some buds coming. So I'm expecting a few flowers, but this year unfortunately it's not going to be a great display. But what I am hoping for is, because it's got so many leaves this year, it's going to really help fatten up the bulb, and it's going to give it a lot more energy for next year. So hopefully next year we'll have really good display. Now, because this is just kind of finishing flowering on some of these bulbs, some of these shoots, sorry, this will probably die back in the next month or two, and then it will start regrowing again probably kind of February, March time, maybe April. So hopefully then it'll be midsummer by the time it's flowering again. But I'll give you guys an update as it goes through each process, and hopefully next year I'll have another great display for my Gloxinia. But as I say, not many flowers this year, but because it has so many leaves, I'm quite happy with it. It seems healthy enough, and I'm expecting a good result next year. So that's all from this update, and I'll see you guys in another video soon.